everybody. Welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie, how's it going?
Hello. So good. I've been riding with Scott today on inspections, and we were up in Teton Valley. And so that's up
Oof.
against the Tetons. That's where Christy and I were both born. And
Hmm.
man, is fall. Whew, it is gorgeous up there. All the
I
Quakies are
bet.
changing, and we drove up over Big Piney. Oh my God.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you guys. Fall in Idaho is glorious, and it was so beautiful up
Gorgeous.
there.
Oh, I'm jealous. How fun.
I know. Scott said instead of doing your show from home, maybe we should stay up here and just find a cool backdrop that you can do it from on your phone.
Yeah.
Which was a great idea, except for that the internet service up there is a little dicey. But
Yeah,
wow, is it
it is.
beautiful.
Ah, I need to go for a ride up there. I haven't been up there in a while. That sounds
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And as you can see, Sandy, the true crime cat, True
Mm-hmm.
Crime Squad mascot, is here. She looks as though she's going to make an announcement in my microphone at any moment. Um, that's
Attention,
just,
attention.
yeah, she's going to be asking for snacks here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it'll be pets, and she'll be headbutting my microphone. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to, put a barrier up because she just will not quit that. Because she's
It's
like
Morse
that,
code. No, I'm sorry.
apparently.
It's Meow's code.
It's Meow's code. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, we have all kinds of true crime for you today, as we
We
usually
do.
do. Welcome everyone in the chat if you're here live, and of course, welcome if you're here after the fact as well. We appreciate all of you here with us, and I think, Katie, you're going to kick us off with some WTF news.
I am. Are we struggle busing?
No?
Okay. Oh, did you play it? It didn't play on my side.
Oh, yeah. I'm
I'm
like,
sitting
I
here
don't,
waiting.
I saw it.
Well,
I have no
okay.
idea.
Well, then let's
It
do
did
it.
play. Yeah.
Well, friends, we've been talking a lot about the death penalty recently, and also about how long people are being left on death row in the
Hmm.
U.S. But Japan said, "Hold my beer. I
Oh,
want to
really?
introduce you to this gentleman." Now, please know that I will probably pronounce many of these names incorrectly. I apologize, and I am trying, but I don't speak Japanese, so I'm going to do my best. But I want to introduce you to this gentleman here. This was the world's longest serving death row inmate. His name is Iwao Hakamada. He
Okay.
was accused of killing a family of four in 1966. He was found
Whoa.
guilty 2 years later. It took until 1980 to finalize his death penalty sentence,
Oh my gosh.
and he has been acquitted.
Oh my God. Whoa.
I thought that we were a piece of shit here in the U.S. for the way we treat prisoners and for the way our prosecutors and cops sometimes have a lot of corruption. But again, listen to what happened in Japan.
Mm.
This man is now 88 years old. He was granted a retrial in 2014, and he was released into the care of his sister because, unfortunately, he is deeply mentally ill because of all of his time in prison and has pretty much been unable to be a part of his defense. So he's been living
Mm.
with his sister. She actually served as proxy for him in pleading not guilty and finally getting this case overturned. So he's actually
Whoa.
been out since 2014, but it has taken 10 years for this case to be re educated.
How? My God.
I mean, maybe
That's
COVID had a
insane.
role in it, but that certainly wasn't the only role.
That's nuts. Talk
Yeah,
about, we think our legal system is slow. Holy hell.
yeah. So, 56 years ago, he was found guilty, again, of murdering a family of four. So,
Mm.
the person that died was a gentleman who was the senior manager at the miso factory where this guy worked.
Okay.
And someone stabbed to death this senior manager, as well as his wife and 2 children. So, at some point, some clothing were found that supposedly the killer had worn that were smeared with red under a bunch of miso at the miso factory.
Weird.
And yeah, so the Japanese outlet, the Asahi Shimbun, a judge who took a look at this said that investigative authorities had tampered with evidence by smearing blood on the clothing supposedly worn during the alleged crimes.
Oh
They
my
also
God.
noted, yeah, they also noted that they really questioned whether the red stains on clothing found in a miso tank were blood, as the items could not have retained a red hue after being buried under miso paste for more than a year.
Right? Like, everything was contaminated at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Hakamada's lawyers have been saying now for a long time that the DNA that was found on those clothing doesn't match Hakamada anyway.
Oh my God.
So, in 2014, when Judge Hiroki Mayorama admitted that yes, the clothes could not have been those of the defendant, that's when the retrial was granted, and that's when he was released to his sister. His sister is now 91 years old.
Oh my God.
Her name is
And he's
Hideko.
88?
What's that?
Wow. And he's 88.
And he's 88.
Wow.
Yep. And so when the retrial started, she pled, on behalf of my brother, I plead not guilty, saying that his mental health was not in a state where he could do so for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was a former professional boxer
Oh, wow.
that worked in a miso factory and somehow got these murders pinned on him. Partly because, while he maintained his innocence over the years, he did break during police questioning and admit to the crimes. That was after 3 weeks of intense interrogation.
Oh my God. Yeah, false confessions are a real thing, and they're a real thing under that kind of pressure.
Yep. They had
my
kept
God.
him, tag teamed him, and kept him under duress for 3 straight weeks when he finally confessed. And then when his trial started, he recanted that confession, but the damage was done. And of course, some planted evidence, and there you go.
I mean, psychological torture leads to people confessing to things they did not do.
Oh, well, it
We know
does,
that.
especially if they are deprived of sleep and deprived of food, and at some point
Right.
they will lose sense of themselves. Yeah. So Amnesty International has been a part of exonerating Hakamada, and they made a statement. They said, "We are overjoyed by the court's decision to exonerate Hakamada after enduring almost half a century of wrongful imprisonment and a further 10 years waiting for his retrial. This verdict is an important recognition of the profound injustice he endured for most of his life."
Yeah. They just took everything from him. Holy shit.
This is the 5th time in the last 35 years that a defendant on death row has been exonerated in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and like Steph says, at least they didn't execute him after they figured out he didn't do it.
right. Yeah.
But God, they destroyed him. I mean, they broke him.
Yep.
That's so sick.
Yep. Yep. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. So, I mean, good on him that he's out. His sister has spent her entire lifetime fighting for his freedom. But yes, they stole his entire life. Yep. Very, very
Jeez.
sad.
Like Chris Tapp, right? Brendan Dassey,
Mm-hmm.
Marcellus Williams.
Yeah.
The list is so long of people who have been tortured into confessing to things that they didn't do.
Yep.
And like, how does that help anybody? You
Yeah.
know? Doesn't help
Potentially
anything.
Richard Allen.
Yeah. Potentially Richard Allen.
Yeah. Right, Tracy. You just know maybe in a year, a couple, they're going to finally say that Marcellus was innocent, but now it's too late, right?
Right.
Yeah. Now, there's more on that case. We're going to get to it next week. But
There is.
there's
Yeah.
a lot. So, but I hope that his last few years, I hope his last 10 years living with his sister have been full of comfort. And now he's
so.
exonerated, but he's 88 and not in his right mind. So
That is just sad as hell. God.
at least he doesn't have to die in prison, I guess. Very sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
God.
Well, with that, I'm going to kick it back to you for our main case.
Okay. All right. Well, friends, this is Nathaniel MCguire. And yesterday, Nathaniel MCguire threw a bomb into the front entry of the courthouse in Santa Maria, California.
Ooh.
Yeah. He threw it in like at the security station, like where people were like in line to go through the metal detectors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was a backpack. He threw it in there, and when it hit the ground, it exploded.
Oh my God.
I think probably the best thing to do now is just play the press conference so you can hear the whole story and what's going on, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So here is the press conference from yesterday.
This Under Sheriff Craig Bonner. He's going to talk to you about the Sheriff's Office response and our investigation into this incident today. And then you'll hear from Special Agent in Charge Ted Docks from the FBI regarding their investigation. And then we'll turn it over to Court Executive Officer Daryl Parker. He's going to talk to you about ongoing operations of the court facility. And then we'll close out with a Q&A. And we just want to underscore that what we're trying to do today is we're really working to balance sharing information quickly with the public while working on a very intricate and ongoing investigation. And so with that, I'd like to hand it over to Under Sheriff Craig Bonner.
Thank you, Raquel, and thank you for all being here to help us get this information out. So at approximately 8:48 this morning, the Sheriff's Office received a report of an explosion at the Santa Maria Court Complex near Department 9. The initial report included that a single individual entered the facility and threw a bag at the screening station. That bag exploded. Initially, we were told that at least 2 people had injuries and that an adult male suspect had been detained by a court security officer, a sheriff's deputy, and CHP officers. Additional units from the Santa Maria Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, CHP, fire, and medical personnel responded to assist with this incident. Ultimately, 4 victims were transported from the scene to an area hospital, and 1 additional victim arrived at the hospital on their own. 3 of the 5 people seen at the hospital were physically injured with non-life-threatening injuries, including burns. All of these victims were treated and released by the hospital. To be clear, I want to assure everyone at the onset of this press conference that at this point we do not believe there are any additional community safety concerns at this time. The male suspect has been identified as 20-year-old Nathaniel MCguire of Santa Maria. He was detained outside the courthouse as he tried to enter his red car that was parked in the southeast parking lot. MCguire was alone when he was apprehended and was wearing body armor underneath his jacket. He did not have any physical injuries from the explosion. Responders established a perimeter of approximately 5 blocks around the court compound and evacuated the courthouse, surrounding homes, businesses, and a school. The Sheriff's Office bomb squad responded to the scene. In the hours that followed, the bomb squad worked to render the scene safe and checked for any additional unexploded devices in the courthouse, the suspect's vehicle, and at his residence in Santa Maria. Through their interviews, the detectives learned that MCguire's motivation appeared to have stemmed from a recent arrest by the Sheriff's Office on July 28, 2024 for firearms violations. In that case, deputies discovered and seized a loaded and concealed revolver that was in McGuire's pants pocket and was not registered to him. His arraignment for that case was scheduled for this morning in Department 9 at the court compound behind us. Our detectives are also working with Santa Barbara County Fire to explore if the suspect is associated with several recent additional arson fires. Our detectives are in the process of serving warrants at both McGuire's car and his home, and McGuire is being booked at our Northern Branch Jail for felonies including a 664-187 attempt murder, PC, Penal Code Section 18745, using an explosive device in attempting to kill someone, PC 18720, possession of explosive devices. All of these will be held on a no bail. Although this is an ongoing investigation and we are exploring all possible angles, at this point in time we do believe that this to be a local incident committed by a local individual with a local grievance stemming from his arrest. We are not absolutely ruling out that there is not something larger at play, but at this time we do believe this is a local matter that has been safely resolved and that there are no outstanding community safety concerns. We will be sharing his booking photo, and we are asking the public to contact our detectives with any investigation they feel may be relevant to this investigation. You can reach our anonymous tip line at 805-681-4171. I'd also like to take a moment to thank all of the agencies, our partners, who have assisted us greatly in this incident. They were crucial to the successful resolution of the incident. This includes the Santa Maria Police Department, our Santa Barbara County District Attorney investigators, the Triumph Security Guard who stood up and stopped this individual, the California Highway Patrol, American Medical Response, Santa Maria Fire, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as well as the men and women of the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office who have and will continue to ensure the safety of our local community. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to FBI Special Agent in Charge, Ted Dobbs.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Undersheriff. The FBI has opened a federal investigation into this incident. We have brought all available resources to our local partners, including our evidence response team, crisis response team, and special agent bomb technicians and investigators. Members of our Victim Services Division are also on hand to help those who have been impacted by this tragedy. There is no additional threat to public safety at this time. It is premature to discuss a motive right now. However, we will follow all logical investigative processes. The FBI has opened an investigation in collaboration with the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office and the United States Attorney's Office. What we know at this point is this incident is not tied to transnational terrorism, and the suspect has no known ties to terrorist groups. Anyone with tips from this incident can contact the local number the Undersheriff provided, or they can also call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. As always, we urge the members of the public to remain vigilant, and if you see something, please say something. At this time, I will turn it over to the Court Executive Officer, Daryl Parker. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. First, I want to let everybody know that the court takes the security of those attending court proceedings, the public, jurors, the employees, the judges, staff, the lawyers in our community very seriously. We'll thoroughly review this incident to make sure that we can take whatever steps are necessary to reduce the chance of this ever happening again in the court. And then we'd like to thank the law enforcement professionals for their response. The Sheriff's Department, Santa Maria Police Department, the FBI, Steve from the Triumph Security. Way to go, Steve. Great job today. Many of those who attend court know him personally. And the DA investigators who rapidly responded on the scene today as well. Outstanding work. As this is an ongoing investigation, as we've heard from law enforcement, the court is going to remain closed tomorrow. We closed for throughout today. We'll remain closed tomorrow to stay clear of the investigation scene so law enforcement can complete their work as thoroughly as possible, and we can not impede that process. More information about when we will reopen will be available on the court's website at sbcourts.org. There were a couple of trials scheduled to go tomorrow, and I'm sure jurors are interested in that. Those trials will not be going forward tomorrow. Many of those jurors, if you're watching, you've signed up for text messages. You'll receive text message updates about the status of those trials, but could also look at the court's website. On occasions like this, when there are emergencies, the court cannot close without consulting the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. We've done that earlier today and got an order from the Chief Justice declaring an emergency that allowed us to close and extend the time to complete filings and other court events that normally would have expired by operation of time on a day like this. So it's deemed a court holiday for those purposes of calculating time frames. So those persons who might have a restraining order that expired today that they were seeking to extend, those will naturally be extended by the Chief Justice's order. And our presiding judge, Pauline Maxwell, is issuing today an implementation order which makes effective the Chief Justice's authority. So again, if you're looking for more information upon coming to court tomorrow, go to the court's website at sbcourts.org. Thanks for your time today.
Is Friday still a holiday? School holiday?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
News Hawk jumping right in there. I'm sure we've got a lot more.
Okay. So he was due in court for a weapons charge. He was cited for having, was in public with a handgun, a loaded handgun in his pocket that was not registered to him. And that's why he was due to be in court. Bystanders say that he was yelling, "We have to fight back, you have to fight back," and screaming and fighting while they were trying to hang on to him and arrest him.
Oh, good Lord.
So you can only imagine what his social media is going to be like and what all this other shit's going to be like. And, they make a big deal about, well, he's not linked to any terrorist groups. Yeah, he is the terrorist. He is a domestic terrorist.
He's a domestic terrorist. He doesn't have to be linked to anybody.
Right. And, just like everybody in the chat was saying, well, he just made damn sure he'll never be able to own a weapon again.
Right.
And now the FBI is on his ass.
Nathaniel. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrifying. So lucky that no one died. And that everyone that was injured is now released from the hospital today.
Yeah.
So they were all pretty minor injuries, but shit, three of them were burns from this
that is terrifying.
explosive device. It's just so scary. And I thought it was really interesting to hear from the court security guy about how disruptive something like this is. Their whole courthouse is shut down.
Yeah.
Trials can't go forward, all kinds of stuff cannot go forward because they have to clear the courthouse, make sure there's nothing else anywhere. They've searched his house and searched his car. They have not said what they've found. And they're looking at him because there are several other arson incidents in the area that they have yet to find find the perpetrator. And I mean, was this guy doing some other shit? I don't think you could put anything past him at this point.
I think you should not. Yeah. Wow.
Another bystander said that when they had him pinned down on the ground trying to get control of him, that ammunition was just rolling all over the floor, coming out of his pockets. So, I mean, likely he was also armed with a gun. They haven't said that, but apparently there were bullets just rolling around on the floor because they were falling out of his pockets.
Miracle nobody was killed.
They were stripping all of his clothes off from him right there to make sure that he didn't have any other incendiary devices.
Well, yeah, for sure. Good Lord.
Can you imagine how scary?
Well, and he's just fucked his life so hard.
Right? This dude is only 20 years old.
Yeah. He is
And
done.
I mean, he's going away for a long time. They've got state charges against him now, but there will likely be federal charges
Oh,
as well. I
definitely
wouldn't be
there
at all
will.
surprised
Yeah.
if we don't see domestic terrorism
Well,
come
right.
in as a
I
federal
mean, how could
charge.
any of us not be thinking about Oklahoma City right now? You know?
Right? Like, holy shit. And what else has this
We've
guy
seen
done?
this before. Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, are they catching a Timothy McVeigh at the beginning rather than the
Right.
end of something?
Well, hopefully,
God, I
yes.
hope so.
Yeah, in the scope that he didn't kill anybody
Right.
this time.
But he just opened the door and threw that in, and it hit the floor and blew up.
Jesus.
Like, terrifying.
Right?
Right,
Yeah.
Steph? This is what happens when you can't regulate your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and apparently everybody else was supposed to suffer because you're an idiot and broke gun laws. Like, it sucks to suck, man, but if you don't like the gun laws in California, why do you live there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
Well, but
I'm
he's
sure
made
there's
it
a
real
bunch of
clear why those laws are absolutely correct and in place for a
Right.
reason. When you have
Right. And
tools
why
like
was he
this.
carrying a gun that wasn't registered in his name? I mean, what
Right.
else are they going to find here? It's all really soon, and so we don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to see more charges. We'll probably see some, probable cause type stuff come out as
And
well.
again, he's so young. His life is shot.
20 years old.
Oh,
So many young men committing crimes like this,
yes.
involving weapons, harming other people, and just destroying their lives. It's so scary.
It's scary and sad. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep an eye
Wow.
on this because, man, like they were asking one of the reporters asked at one point. I don't think we watched that part, but if security measures were gonna change in the courthouse because of this, because like he just opened the door and threw that bomb at the security checkpoint, like at
Yeah.
the screening center, like. What else are they supposed to do? Put the screening
Well,
center
right.
outside? Or you can't even enter the building until you've been through the screening now, maybe?
Well, and big props to Steve for being a badass.
Yes. Yeah, the courthouse security were right on him. He didn't get away at all. They pinned him down in the parking lot and held him. No, they pinned him down in the building and then brought him out and arrested him in the parking lot. It all happened really fast. And, was contained really quickly, thank God, because he probably also had a gun. Why were his pockets full of ammunition?
Right. Don't tell me he didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Amy. Worshipping your guns over your own common sense and freedom is a choice. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you live in Texas. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a cult here in Idaho as well.
We're twins, Amy. We are twins. Yeah.
Definitely.
But
yeah, this
well,
is-
wow.
Scary as hell. I'm just really grateful no one was killed. But holy shit, I can't imagine for those folks. They were all just people waiting in line to go be screened, are the people who were injured. It wasn't court staff. It was just random.
People that had business at the courthouse. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That could have been people with children coming in to finalize an adoption.
Right.
That could have been people coming in to visit someone who works there. That could have
Right.
been a million different reasons. That could have been a victim that was going to testify against their aggressor. That could have
Yeah.
been a million people that were going in there just
Right.
to do whatever business they had to meet that kind of terror.
And you're so fucked up that you're just gonna risk murdering totally random people because you're mad because you got in trouble. Like, wow,
Awful.
scary.
Yeah, showing up for jury duty and almost getting blown up. Yeah, Amy.
Right? Yeah. They could have been jurors too.
Mm-hmm.
And now this
They're
courthouse
like,
is
wait,
scrambling
I
to
think
figure
I know
out
what
everything.
jury I'd like to sit on.
Yeah, no kidding. Can I pick the case I sit on? Yeah. So that is, well, a terrifying story. We will keep
Yeah, it
on
is.
it. I think that reporting on these domestic terror incidents is really, really important. we need to understand that this shit is happening right here in the United States, and that it is happening and being committed by U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
You know, this idea that terrorists come from other countries is bullshit. We've been experiencing domestic terrorism for as long as I can think of. But
It
we
needs
don't
to
really
start
call it
being
that unless
called
it's
out more.
a
Yeah.
foreign agent, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that, Katie, you've got some dumb criminals for us.
Indeed. Do you
Did
remember
you
that
see
Nick-
that one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Oh, good.
Do you remember that Nick Cage movie where you had a bus driver and all these people on the bus, and the bus
Speed,
was
I think.
was it Speed? Yeah, the bus was rigged so that it would blow up if it stopped, and
Yeah.
the whole movie is, these FBI agents getting on the bus and trying to detonate the bomb or get the people off and all that stuff, right? Okay. Well, we had a low key scenario of that in Los Angeles a few days ago. When I say low key, make lowest of keys, but it reminded me of this just a little bit. We had a man who got on a bus about 12:35 in the morning and pulled a gun on the driver, shot two people on the bus,
Jesus.
and was basically holding the driver and the passengers of the bus hostage. When the police pulled up, they said that the bus started moving. Let's see. This is what the LAPD tweeted about it. Around 12:45 a.m., LAPD began receiving radio calls related to an incident on a bus in the area of Manchester and Figueroa. Officers located the bus stopped at 117th and Figueroa. Officers attempted to communicate with the driver, but the bus pulled away and a pursuit ensued. Believing the suspect was armed and still on the bus with hostages, SWAT was requested to respond to the pursuit. The pursuit lasted about an hour. Ultimately, spike strips were used and the bus came to a stop on Alameda. SWAT deployed noise flash diversionary devices and boarded the bus. The suspect involved in the incident was taken into custody. The bus operator and two passengers were still on the bus. One of the passengers was suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The driver and other passenger were shaken but uninjured. The gunshot wound victim was transported and died at the hospital. South Bureau homicide detectives have responded to conduct their investigation and will conduct a search of the bus for evidence. So what we know is that the suspect, who was unnamed until I think today, but his name has finally come out, it is Lamont Campbell. Though there's no picture of Lamont online yet, but Lamont did get on the bus, shot two people, both of the passengers, and then put a gun to the driver's head and made him start driving when the police came. So the driver told police that he was doing everything he possibly could to keep driving safely and not, cause more danger with the bus to the public or to those on the bus. And was basically just scared shitless, but just did what he had to do to navigate this bus until luckily they threw down spike strips and stopped this. Luckily, the driver is okay, but apparently violence on buses has gotten to be a real problem. And so there's a couple of things. This is what a member of the bus drivers union said. The protection of our members remains the top priority of your union. In this regard, we have been the driving force in Metro's decision to install protective driver barriers aboard the buses. It should be noted that Metro promised us that they would complete installation of the barriers by the end of the year. In addition, recently we strongly supported a Metro board motion to entirely revamp Metro's police protection to better safeguard our members. Because essentially, when people are getting on the bus, they have direct access to the driver. And that's become very unsafe. Obviously, they need to have a bulletproof enclosure around the drivers so that they can drive safely. But what a hero this driver is for keeping their head and for doing what they could to stay safe and for living through this. I mean, they so easily could have been murdered in this as well. And so much love to the family of the victim who was murdered, who was just very innocently taking the bus. and did absolutely nothing to deserve this in any way. And also, Lamont, what the hell are you doing? Jesus. So he is now charged with murder, amongst many other things, but how terrifying.
Talk about mayhem.
Yeah.
Well, and did he have like a direction? Like, was there a reason for I don't get it. Like,
The motive is still unknown. So we have no idea why he did it at all. Or,
that's
or
so
where he was
weird.
trying to go.
If he was trying to get the bus to take him somewhere, I don't know.
Right.
And
yeah.
maybe there just is no rhyme or reason for this, which could
That's
be too.
probably true, but maybe, hopefully, we'll get to see this go to trial and maybe we can understand a little bit further why this happened. But
Yeah. How
Yikes.
scary.
yeah.
Well, hopefully the Metro will finally get their shit together
Yeah.
and protect these bus drivers. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point, JR. Good reasons aren't needed for criminals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. They're not.
Yep. Yep. Luckily, it sounds like there were only 2 people on the bus, but he shot both of them.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That is so scary.
Yeah. The poor driver, I was thinking, I wonder if they'll continue driving bus or if this will be their.
I bet not.
Yeah. Can you imagine
bet
how
not.
scary it must be to have someone's gun at your head
I
driving?
cannot imagine.
I'm
We
one of those
are-
people that if I get nervous, even if I get in too big of a hurry, like all reason goes out the window, I probably would have immediately crashed because I can't
Right, I mean-
imagine trying to drive under that kind of pressure and duress. Yeah.
And the fact that he was just trying to drive safely to not cause any other problems, and yikes. Our aunt many years ago was a bus driver, and she got attacked by a woman who beat her with her cane. I don't know if
Yeah.
she blind or was
A
she
cane or a crutch. Yeah.
it was a cane or crutch, something like that, and caused like serious nerve damage in one arm and disabled her.
Yes.
Disabled
She
her.
had to retire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And the idea of having like bulletproof glass around them, I mean, duh. They probably should have always had that.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like they do have that in other communities, some other communities, and that this has been a long time coming in LA. So hopefully this
Well,
is
they
the
better get their shit together.
yeah, hopefully this is the thing that brings that right along because it sounds like it needs to happen. So, but that's what I've got.
Wow. Well, people be crazy, friends.
Right? That's everything I found today was like, oh my Lord. Well, there's the case. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's this case out of Gettysburg College where the only black student on the swim team
Oh yes. Oh
had
my
the
God.
N-word carved into his chest with a box cutter by one of the other students.
Yeah.
Now, they said carved. Now they're saying it was scratched. Not really. I mean, carved would indicate like,
Deep.
yeah. But there's a big controversy about the way that's being handled. And now there's a big controversy about why it actually happened and who was involved. And I was going to bring it today, but the more I read about it, the more I realized that this might not
We
be
don't know the
exactly what
whole
it looks
story.
like. I
Yeah.
don't either. That's why I decided to not bring the whole story forward. But I am keeping a bit of an eye on that. There have been no charges. But yeah, either way, he was branded essentially. Yeah, Jess.
Yeah, it was. I know, I keep reading up on it too, and I'm like, I'm confused because he was expelled from school and then the victim was dismissed from the swim team.
Yes. Yeah.
For why?
And
Like,
nobody
what the
was
hell?
charged with anything. Yeah.
Right. So I
Yeah.
know, but yeah, we got to keep a close eye on that one because what the hell?
Yeah. I was going to bring it today fully. I know I kind of am now, but there's some things about it I'm unsure of. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. And
Yeah, I want to get the whole story on that because that is awful and really scary.
yeah. Connie says, my ex pulled a gun on me and was going to shoot. It is so scary. Yeah, Connie, I can't even imagine.
Yikes. No.
May
I
he
can't
rot
either.
in hell. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this is Thursday, which means this is our last episode for the week. We will be back on Monday with lots more. There are 2 brand new Patreon episodes out.
Yes.
And if you're looking for extra content from us, that's a great way to go because we've been on Patreon for 4 years, 5 years.
4.5
I mean,
years,
there's
yeah.
over 100 episodes over there that are exclusive to Patreon. So go check that out. If you go to truecrimesquad.com, you can find our Patreon there. We're tearing it up over on TikTok. We're
man.
come look at us there. And
TikTok
you
has
know,
blown up this week. It's been wild. Yeah.
yeah, I've been really trying to grow it, and it is on fire
Growing.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got lots of stuff. You can always tip us over at Buy Me a Coffee. That's also where we have our membership if you want to do the watch party. That's how you get to our Patreon. Like everything's over there. Katie's store, my store, it's all there.
Yeah.
So check those things out and definitely take a break from crime this weekend if you can. It has been a hard week.
It has
with-
been an ugly one. Yeah.
With everything that's going on, we've talked about a lot of really painful, sad shit.
Yeah.
So go, if you haven't seen the new Beetlejuice movie, go see it because it's funny as hell. But you know, get some Halloween vibes, watch a funny movie, hang out with friends, take a break from crime because we all need a break. And this has been one of those particularly difficult breaks or
It
weeks.
has.
So you know,
I know. Honestly, Monday and Tuesday, I felt like true crime broke me.
oh,
Marcellus
me too.
Williams, I was going to say extermination. I guess it really was. Broke me. Yeah.
Me too. Well, Carly Gregg broke me, and then
too. Both
this
of
too.
them.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be playing with fun stuff. Look at this. Look at this beetle. I've got some bugs coming on Fidget Whimsy. Look at that. That's a rhino beetle.
That's so
Be
cute.
Cute.
That's
Love him.
awesome.
Yeah.
We're going
so
to see the kids.
yes.
You guys know we do these things. We're having a bit of a challenge. We are doing, for dinner tomorrow night, we're doing a grilled cheese flight. So, you know,
Ooh.
you've had like a mimosa flight, a margarita flight.
Mm-hmm,
Flights have kind of gotten to be trendy lately. Mars and I did a little, and Scott did a deviled egg flight right before she moved back to school. But anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a grilled cheese flight. So there's 5 of us. Each one of us has to bring our own ingredients to make some rendition of a grilled cheese sandwich, and then we'll wedge them up, and you have to, you know, not have to, but you get to try everybody's. And yeah, I'm excited. So I'm doing
That
a
sounds
blackberry compote smoked Gouda on sourdough.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
a
let
smoked
you know.
Gouda girl, so that sounds excellent.
Scott's doing some bacon, Harlesburg, hot honey on sourdough situation. Matt is
sounds
doing a Reuben. We've had long arguments this week about whether or not a Reuben is a grilled cheese. Matea and I maintain that yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I would call it
It's
that. I
grilled
love a
and it
Reuben.
has cheese. Yeah.
right.
And Micah, I don't know. He said something about making bourbon bacon jam, and I don't know what all. So, and I have no idea what Mars is doing. She hasn't made a decision. But anyway, I am excited. I'm excited. We're going to make
sounds
homemade tomato soup too, because you can't really have a grilled cheese without tomato soup, can you?
Yeah, you can. 100%.
Can you? Yeah, you can.
You can do anything you want without tomato soup. Ugh.
Our kids were like, but what about the tomato soup? Because
I
that
know.
was the go-to around here, you know. But
Yeah, they've grown up on your homemade tomato soup.
where do we
so-
meet for this? Right? We just need to have like a whole squad-wide grilled cheese flight. Yeah. So we'll see.
Right.
I was hoping somebody would do a tuna melt. Maybe that's what I should have done. But because
Ooh, I love a good tuna melt too.
me too.
I'm
yeah.
definitely a grilled cheese person. So
Yeah. Right. I know. So anyway,
sounds
that's what I'm
delicious.
doing. I'll let you know how they
All
go.
right.
A Reuben is grilled cheese with an attitude. You know, that's perfect for
Yes, it
Matea
is.
to make, isn't it?
yes,
That's
it
her
is. It
jam.
is perfect, and that's
yep.
true. Get that kraut in there, definitely. Love me some sauerkraut. Whew. All righty. Well, that sounds delicious. And now I'm trying to think about what am I going to make this weekend? I don't even know, but something good.
May I recommend grilled cheese? Kathy says to
Yeah.
use a waffle maker for the grilled cheese so you have extra spots
yes.
for the soup. Well, that sounds amazing. That's
yeah,
a great idea.
I like making grilled cheese in a waffle maker. That works really well.
Well, then you can walk away. Because we've all burned the hell out of grilled cheese before and felt real bad because it was the last bit of bread in the house. You know, you've done it. I know you have. We
I
all
have a ceramic top, stupid stove that I hate, and so it's very easy to burn things like grilled cheese on it.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm getting a new stove. It's not today, and it's not tomorrow, but eventually, because I hate that thing.
I'm real close. I'm down to one burner that works all the time.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Mine all
We
work. they
replaced all the
just suck.
burners multiple times. So, yeah, a new stove is nigh at my house.
It sounds like it. All right. Well, you know it. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a review wherever you can. All of those things help us to grow, and grow we are. So that's great news. You know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care, guys. Thank you.